Okay.
It's setting it up.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Am I looking at you?
You are looking at me, yes.
It doesn't look like I'm looking away from the camera.
Okay, are you on your computer?
I'm on my cell phone. So if my profile picture shows up, I've got a call coming in, but as soon as I reject it, I'll pop right back.
Okay. All right, well, we are live. And I am very excited. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Michelle Sorensen, and I am known as the Tea Goddess. I am the owner of Tea at 1024 and have been serving afternoon tea with love and passion since 1999. And I'm so excited today to chat with tea lover Karen Murray from Eddison and Melrose in Monterey, California. She's been in the tea business for over 19 years. And her love for delicious food and recipes spans over 34 years, as she was a chef from the age of 18. She was featured in one of my favorite magazines, Victoria, as one of the 7 entrepreneurs for 2018. And this is really interesting. She created a full menu and cooked for Grace Slick of Jefferson Airplane and her clients. She served hors d'oeuvres to Jane Seymour at her art and opening in Carmel. She created a menu and cooked for the author Jane Seymour at my dinner event in Monterey. Very, very exciting stuff that you've been doing. So welcome, Karen, and it's so happy to see you again. I have lots of questions to ask, but first, let's start off with your company name, the Eddison and Melrose. I think it has a really great history. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Family history, my parents' middle names. So my dad's middle name, Eddison, hence why it's spelt with 2 D's, not one. And my mom's middle name, Melrose. And I renamed my business in 2001 as a tribute to my dad, who had passed away a few years before. And my parents had a store in Jamaica when they met. And I feel like I'm doing a similar thing, having my little tea shop. And it's just nice to have it as a tribute. My mom's still alive and living in England.
Yeah, well, you have a beautiful tea shop. And I stumbled upon Karen's tea room when I was in Carmel a couple of years ago. And I always look for tea places to go to and found your cute, charming, oh my God, it was so good. The food was delicious and your everything, your bone china. And it was just, it was so lovely to meet you and to sit and chat with you. And so you moved. You are now in Monterey.
Yeah, I moved in 2017 to Pacific Grove, which is about 5 miles away from where we were. And we're in a smaller place, I like to call it the little tea cottage. It reminds me of a sort of fashion tea cottage of one that you'd see in Cornwall in southern England. And they tend to be very small and very cozy. So I like to create a space where you can come on in jeans and a t-shirt, or you can come on in your fancy outfits. And so it's sort of casual, dressy. It's whatever you're comfortable being in. And I want it to be a very comfortable space. So it's like your little living room when you come join us for tea.
And this is your, a shot from the front, Eddison.
Yeah.
Melrose oats and scones. And you are also known for your oats, well, your scones too, but you have an award-winning oat brand that you've created.
Yes, I do. I pulled out my blue ribbons because I always say it's blue ribbon, but I couldn't remember where my blue ribbons are. So here I found them. And we earned 2 blue ribbons back in 2005, I believe it was, when one of my employees, Maggie, took the time to go to the county fair and without telling me entered our cookies and our granola, and we won first place and best in show for professional baking. So it's our blue ribbon granola.
They look delicious. I didn't try it when I was there, unfortunately, but and here's your scones. Are those blueberry?
Those are indeed blueberry, and we also do a lot of fresh elderberry scones as well. We have a great local supplier at Carmel Berry Company, so we get lots of our berries from them and love making elderberry and blueberry scones.
Ah, so let me ask you a question. How is it balancing working as a chef in your tea room and making time to get to know your customers? How do you balance those two?
So luckily, I have some great staff, and if it's a quiet day, it's just me doing everything. But what I like to try and do is spend my time, obviously, in the kitchen, working on all the recipes, making everything from scratch. And when it's time for service, I love to come out and present the food to the customers at that point. And it allows me to meet you face to face, as we were able to do, and spend a little bit of time together if it's not too busy. If it is busy, it's a quick hello and to the table, and often capturing a picture of the guests as well, having a good time, and then back to work I go. So it does have me spending more time in the kitchen, but it gives me a little break, and it's lovely to see everybody enjoying, having a good time.
Yeah, well, here's a picture of the two of us a few years back when you were able to kind of hop out of the kitchen and come and chat with me for a while, and we were able to share a little bit. And I know the same thing in the tea room. You get busy, and sometimes you can't talk to everyone, although that you really want to. But I was glad and thankful that you were able to take the moment to share with me. But if you can look, everybody, look in the picture, look how lovely the setting is. And you had this really good, was it the elderberry, some sort of a beverage that you served first?
Wow, cranberry. We're known for our cranberry sparkler. I mix cranberry juice and sparkling lemonade, and we serve them sometimes in champagne glasses, martini glasses. It's a nice way to start a tea, and especially when it's celebrating a birthday or engagement, baby shower, just adds to that fun party.
Yeah. Well, here's a couple more shots in your room, in your cute tea room.
This is our new tea shop, and we've got the Dutch door there, which has come in very handy during this shelter-in-place pandemic.
I can imagine.
The tea tables aren't set for guests anymore, but the Dutch door now has a small table beyond it on the inside. And that way, when people come to pick up their food to go, it's there and ready and waiting for them to pick up. So it's a lovely little sunny cottage-like spot.
Yeah. Oh, this picture didn't quite come. Oh, I think I redid it. This cute picture of this adorable little girl here.
That's one of our birthday girls that her mom came and picked up takeout for her birthday, and they had a full-on tea, and her mom did share that picture with me. It's a lovely picture of her enjoying her tea party on her birthday.
And you package up your to-goes very nicely. I think, for one of the things, because I started doing the to-goes as well, and, it was transitioning your business into a box.
Right.
And how do you create that sort of magical experience, that same experience when they walk into your tea room, and translate that into opening a to-go box? And so we've added special things to hopefully to make the experience a little bit more enjoyable than just getting a box of sandwiches and some scones and some whatever. So yeah, we tried to capture that magic as well, and it looks like you've done that beautifully here as well.
Yes, it's been that was a transitioning spot, having the trade-off there. I initially moved into this smaller space planning on not having tea on site. It was set up as a to-go spot, but the customers really enjoyed coming in, so we switched it around, and here we are back to doing to-goes again. And so yeah, just adding fun little florals, and every box is different, and I do have fun with that. The creative part, it keeps it exciting for me to always make it different. So it's almost as though not one box is the same.
Oh, that's lovely. And what's in this box here?
So that looks like we've got our, I can see our lemon curd. I call it our heavenly lemon curd. I love lemons, so I use lots of lemons in there. It's very lemony and yummy. Our sweet cream for the scones and jam, and then our sandwich collection. And those are flowers from my garden. I love to garden and plant fresh flowers and herbs that I can use at work. And then we have some blueberry scones, plain scones in the box there. And we also do a lot of cupcakes as well. And in addition to those items too.
It looks yummy. Every time that I do these interviews, it's always around 10 o'clock in the morning, and I just kind of like really don't have breakfast till later. So I'm so hungry. I look at it and I go, oh my God, those scones look amazing. Wonderful.
And we try everything right out the oven when it works that way. So if someone enjoy it right away, they can take it to the beach or back home and have it, you know, straight out of the box without having to warm anything up.
So what is it like right now in California? Did they open up the beaches, and are you?
We are a quiet part of California on the Central Coast, and so our beaches are open. The parking lots to some of the beaches are closed, but if you're in walking distance, you can walk there, and some of the areas do have parking close by, so you can go. At this point, we're not allowed to sit down anymore and picnic, but we can exercise, we can walk, you can go into the ocean and surf. So it's nice that we have the great outdoors, and there's lots of places to visit close by to home. Yeah.
Yeah, we just opened up the, you can go to the beach. So we live very near Waikiki. So I'm driving through home last night, and on the beach, it was packed with people. And now people can actually sit again. So they had their umbrellas up, and there were so many people. It was just, I was absolutely amazed. I think everybody was just finished and done being cooped up in the house and getting outside and being able to, you know, have the fresh air. And so that's the nice thing, to see everybody out and about again and enjoying some vitamin C and vitamin D.
Exactly. And wearing their masks here and there.
Yeah, that's true. And doing their social distancing. That's kind of, I think, the challenging thing for when people were picking up their to-go stuff at our shop. You know, I got a face shield.
Right.
And then you put gloves on, and, you know, we just, you know, go to their car. We drop off their baskets at the, you know, in the car. And it's very interesting. It's very,
Are you open again? Are you back to working?
I just opened on Saturday again for the curbside pickup. I was so excited. Initially, I was a little apprehensive because, you know, it felt like starting your business all over again. You had those pre-business jitters, their excitement and apprehension together, and you're kind of second guessing yourself. Is this going to work? Are people going to enjoy, you know, this same experience?
Right.
And, you know, I had a really great, I got some really great reviews. That actually, one of them made me really cry, because I was feeling like, oh my God, you know, I just hope that they love this, and, you know, and that it's as special to them as it is for us making it, and that the experience translates when they take it home. That's what, like you, I'm sure that you want that same feeling for your customers that they get when they're dining in with you and sitting and chatting with you. You know, they have that same sort of experience. So that's a little bit of a challenge, right?
Yes, it is. I always think it's sort of exciting, and I want it to be joyful for someone to take that box away with them and then open it up and somewhat be surprised. I know what's in there when I give it to them. They have an idea, but they haven't yet seen it. So I always do it with the sense of, I want them to open it, and it brings them some joy when they take a look, and more joy when they get to tuck in and eat it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you said, you know, what are some of the things that you've learned during this this pandemic?
Being adaptable, like always through life, never knowing what's coming next, and being prepared, as, you know, just being ready to sort of go with the flow that life brings, because we don't know from one minute to the next what's going on. So just to sort of be ready to step in to whatever line, following the curves of a windy road. Sometimes we're cruising, and other times we're going downhill, and then we might slow down a bit. And so definitely with this pandemic, it's caused us all, I think, to slow down, unless you're working, of course, in a busy place like Zoom. That suddenly had a huge increase in people using their products, you know, and so just sort of going with that flow. And again, if we haven't learned how, then it's helping us learn how to be adaptable and to find the small miracles, even at a terrible time. There are little miracles that I feel that still keep happening with what's going on. There's a lot of sadness, but there's little things that are positive too. All the air cleaned up around the world, seeing the animals roaming, you know, goats escaping in San Jose, or in Wales, the same thing has happened. So, you know, those are some of the positives, what it's doing for the planet as well and the climate.
Exactly. I think it's giving our Earth, you know, a change, a rest, and
Yes.
just kind of, you know, nobody's on the beach, and there were, you know, sunscreens in. I really think that the reefs are going to be able to regenerate themselves. The animals are coming back in greater numbers.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot more freedom of the animals roaming around because people are not there. So that's, you know, exciting to see that. And
Right.
you know, but we are now slowly transitioning back. And I pray that we've learned and will take and incorporate these things that, you know, we have learned to live without during this time,
Right.
and to be able to incorporate that into our new lives, you know, moving forward.
Yes. Having a new appreciation for things we maybe didn't realize were so special. Going to a movie and eating popcorn.
The popcorn, I missed the popcorn.
So yes, no. And you had mentioned earlier on when you introduced me, author Jane Smiley is the name of the Pulitzer Prize winning author who's out, I believe she still lives out in Carmel Valley, and wrote the book Thousand Acres. I don't know if you've read that, it was turned into a movie. Yeah, good read if you're looking for yet another good book.
Yeah. Well, tell us also too, so because you were in Carmel, lovely Carmel, and all the art galleries and everything. So you were hired out to do some of the catering for the art openings.
Right, yes. There used to be a gallery there. This is going back about 10, 12 years. Fingerhook Gallery was in Carmel. And the first person I worked with there was working with Grace Slick. And we did an opening when she was there. And at the time, I didn't know about Jefferson Airplane, but I quickly learned. My husband.
Really? What year was that?
Well, I didn't know of them until around 10, 12 years ago. Different music scene for me, and growing up in England in the 80s. And so just not the music I'd ventured into. My husband is very much into that music. And so I met her not knowing who she was, and then had the opportunity of doing a dinner party for her. And likewise with Jane Seymour, Jane had a gallery opening. It was when she began selling her open heart jewelry. Keep your heart open so it can never be broken. And she sells them to K Jewelers, I think. And so she also has a wonderful line of artwork. And so she was displaying that. And being a fellow English woman, we got to have a nice chat and enjoy speaking about our work.
Oh, yeah. Lovely. And I think I have that photo. Let's see. I do. I have a photo. Oh, there we go. Little fuzzy, but.
Yes, yeah. That's Jane and I on that day. And yeah, wonderful lady. Dr. Quinn medicine woman.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then this is adorable here. So you have classes for children. Let's talk about some of your classes that you
classes. So this particular class was an etiquette class that we hosted. And my son, who's there in red, Andrew, was helping out. It's one of the assistants that day. And it's a wonderful experience for children that young, number one, to sign up at a class, kind of like going to a preschool initially, where they don't know each other. And the class only lasts for about 2 hours. However, during that time, they do become great friends. And, you know, together they're learning and having fun. And of course, eating lovely things and using fun china and dressing up in ways that they're not usually dressed when they're regularly having lunch and snack during the day. So many different things going on, but wonderful times that we have with the kids coming in for etiquette, as well as other fun classes that we've done. And we do some classes for grown-ups too, just little workshops. The cottage is small, so we have little gatherings for people to come in and speak about their work. We've had a local chef, Mary Chamberlain, come in and talk about her soups and her cookbook and so on. And so it's just a small venue. I haven't actually done any classes this year yet. And I probably won't this year, so probably coming back next year.
Yeah. Well, that's our challenge now, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Back to normal. So what has California done to loosen up some of the dining in rules?
At this point where we are, we haven't yet got back into dining in, but we're getting there. So what I've been hearing is they're hoping to close off some of the local streets if there's room and allow some of the businesses to expand into the parking lots. You know, still, I think a lot of people, to make it worthwhile, they're going to keep on doing the to-go, because once you get the table service, you have to hire someone back in. And I think for a lot of restaurants, it's that added expense of then having to pay for a server, and you can't get full capacity of your space. So, but they're getting ready to, but we've been very careful here. Thankfully the counts have been low, but we still haven't fully got into opening everything back up at this time.
Yeah,
so
we were
June.
June. So we were told possibly June 3rd with with restrictions in place. One of the things that was mentioned that we were able to use our city sidewalks. So you have the street or the
Yes.
And my daughter in Virginia had told me something very interesting, that a couple of restaurants were getting together and doing outdoor events. So almost like a block party sort of a thing, which is another idea to kind of look into. And that would be kind of a fun experience, because owning a tea room, we're all about experience, just making the, people feel good and having this a fun thing that can, the whole family can do with your friends. And yeah, so there's a lot of different things that are, we're all transitioning into, and good things.
Yes, they are. Yes, yeah. The togetherness too has been a good thing. I think bringing everyone together, we see a lot more families out riding bikes and walking, and spending more time together as a whole for some families has been a good thing. Yes.
So what's in your teacup?
I am drinking Andrew's tea. So blended this when he was 11, and it's a nice blend of decaf black tea, a little bit of strawberry and mandarin rooibos teas, and you can add milk to it. You can enjoy it without milk. So it's a family favorite and kid friendly, no caffeine, but love it for any time of the day. Yeah.
And the teacup, your beautiful tea, is that a Shelley?
This teacup is from London, and it's basically a family heirloom. It was a gift to me from my brother-in-law.
Turn it over. Who's the maker?
It is I can't even see what it says. I think it says the Foley China.
Oh,
England.
Okay.
If I zoom it into the camera, can you see that?
Oh yeah, go the other way. Go the other. Oh yeah, I think so. That's an old piece.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
How do you see this one? This one is, it almost looks like a Shelley, because Shelley has that distinct sort of scalloped shape to it. It's beautiful.
So very delicate. Yeah, I was surprised that I hadn't broken it on the way home.
I know, that's a fright, isn't it? I mean, just to have lovely teacups. I mean, really, to have a proper cup of tea, you do need to have a really nice teacup, I have to say.
Teapot here too, with more tea in case I ran out. So
I think I have that teapot.
This one's from my mother-in-law.
I have this one. I got this I think I got this one in Canada from a secondhand store. It almost looks like Limoges. Yes. But I think it was one of those teapots, the ones where when people were painting. So on the bottom, it's from 1926. So it has the name, something Todd 1926. And I mean, it's gilded. It's lovely.
Beautiful. I always say if the teacups and the china could talk, is what I often say to our customers, because they're all different, and many of them are very old and we don't know the history, how many people have enjoyed them, and when they began to come into use, how old they actually are. So it's always fun, you know, very much a collectible. They break, and that happens, so no
I
problem.
know. But I've never thrown away any broken teacup I've had over the last 20 plus years. I have action packers filled, and then I do mosaics and I do different things
Right.
with it,
Yeah.
and just give it a new life. So I call it second chance. I mean, what do I call it? Second chance for a first impression. So that we give life to reuse things to bring
Yes.
them to life.
Yeah. I end up with a lot of saucers because we break the cups, or many teapots that don't have lids, so they become flower pots, and you know, they're useful, as you said, to be recycled in whatever way.
Yeah,
So
you can't toss them out.
no.
Can't. Well, you know, I'm going to tell everybody that they can follow you on Facebook and Instagram. And you have a very cute website at edisonandmelrose.com. She's on Forest Avenue, Suite G in Pacific Grove in California. So if you're out and about that way, give her a call and pick up one of her lovely tea baskets to go, or her granola. And, you know, it's been a delight to be able to sit and chat with you. And this is one of the fun things that I've been doing since, you know, the pandemic is, you know, I mean, I've met you prior, and a couple of other tea rooms that I interviewed, I also met them as well. But with, you know, reaching out, I mean, I went to England and there was a gentleman in Stratford on Avon that he's at his tea room, and a very interesting man, and just enjoyed talking with him and seeing what, you know, he's doing there. The same thing we're all doing.
Right. Yes, indeed. Yes. Everybody's trying to, you know, again, be adaptable and get through and, you know, make it work. I grew up not too far from Stratford upon Avon, and I saw that interview. It was lovely to see.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Know that area well. Yes. And
you're very fortunate to have grown up in the motherland. I told them we're the Americans, we're the hillbilly cousins to the Brits.
Love drinking tea too.
Yes, we're your hillbilly tea drinking cousins. So I would be a little remiss. So the photograph, the painting in the background.
Yeah.
What is that painting?
That actually is one of my favorites from when I worked back at the galleries in Carmel and did events there. And it's by an artist called Barbara McCann. And just one of my favorite pieces, just a nice sunny spot. She does very Mediterranean style work. I believe this one might be centered around Santa Barbara area, but it could be Greece or anywhere else hot and sunny.
Right. Actually, it could look like it could have been in your tea room.
At some point, I had another business or location before I met you. And at one point it was our other location. That was a commercial kitchen though, but it was a big warehouse kitchen. And so we had all kinds of art on display and red walls there too. And a red staircase now that I think about it. But since I moved from there, I divvied up the art. I actually even sold some to some customers of mine, even purchased some of the art from me that I had. But this one I kept. It's a favorite.
Yeah, it's a beautiful painting. Well, is there anything that you would like our listeners to know?
Well, I'd like to say thanks to everybody who's managed to tune in today, and give big thanks to all my family and friends and lovely customers everywhere. It wouldn't happen without them. You know, starting with family, my husband, my son, and all my family members that help in every way and give all the support from around the world. My family's all over the world and just very supportive. And likewise, at a time like now, all of our customers have been wonderful and have supported what I do, and, you know, just been very gracious in ordering things and keeping in touch. How are you doing? Are you still open? And all of those little things are very, very special. And that's the reason I enjoy doing what I do, because it's just lovely having that relationship with everyone to work together. So I'm just wanting to say a big thank you to everyone, and especially to you too for making this happen and for what you're doing, bringing the world together and making it such a tiny place by, allowing everybody to see what we're doing in all these different corners of the world. It's just fantastic. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I like that, making it a tiny world. That's really cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, I can tell by your love for what you do and how you have taken care of your customers and have given yourself, your heart and everything to them. And they've been, and it's evident by their love and support, that they're still continuing to, um, you know, pour upon your business. And I'm wishing you continued success in what you're doing. And I look forward to coming out to California again and to visiting you and your new tea room. And once again, we can let everybody know that they can, here's the information here. And so she's on Instagram and she's got lovely photographs. And that's one of the good things about Instagram is all the pictures that you get to see. And of course, Facebook and your website. So Karen, it's really been a pleasure to be able to share and talk with you today. And thank you for taking the time out. So
I hope we get to Honolulu and get to enjoy tea at 1024 one of these days too.
Yes, yes.
Would love to come and see where you are.
So one of the things that happens when you end a Zoom meeting, it just kind of cuts us off. And so I'm going to say a fond aloha to you, and thank you for sharing with me over a cup of tea. And thank you to everyone that has tuned in and listening to us. And we look forward to seeing you all again. Aloha.
Aloha. Take care. Bye.